Hello, I'm Erik. I've invited my friends Greg Talley and Ryan Smith to join me in ingesting fun and bizarre foods. We'd like you to join us too. So come in and open up. It's Junk Mouth. Hi, I'm Erik.
I'm Greg.
I'm Blake.
And I'm Ryan.
I'm glad our listeners could join us in the Roof Lizard Lounge high atop the Dino Hotel in picturesque Lakewood, Colorado, above our restaurant Paleo Joe's near Denver in the Rocky Mountains. First, I'd like everyone to say hi to our permanent guest host, Blake Sanchez.
Hi, Blake Sanchez.
I wasn't consulted about this.
Well, screw you, Ryan.
We know what they're doing later. So, glad to have you aboard, Blake.
Thank you.
Let's talk through our lunch swap. Greg, so what do you got in that fancy get-up of yours?
Well, I like to bring something that makes me feel extra special. So, in my 3-level Mumbai tiffin, I have in the top tier a petite aperitif that is a lightly roasted arrangement of chinchilla cheeks drizzled with a reduction of grade A Canadian maple syrup and the sweat of Central American drug plantation slaves. In the middle level is a truffle-infused pate of Amazonian pink dolphin testes that have been lovingly simmered in a sauce of Pappy Van Winkle 18-year-old bourbon and the blood of 1,300 hummingbirds. Now, in the bottom tier is a dulce de leche made with milk of bush babies and sugar from a cane produced in a small plantation in Jamaica where all the horticulture is performed by trained sloths. Now, seeing as how there are no sloths naturally in Jamaica, they are imported from Costa Rica illegally. It is a black market product. Very hard to find, very rare, wonderful.
You're a terrible human being.
Thank you.
I think that awfulness is truly rare.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm no prize, but holy shit.
Greg, I think this sounds delicious.
Deliciously decadent, Blake. Would you care for some? I mean, the hummingbird sauce is what makes it.
Let me just have that touch my lips here.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Did you have to do it so erotically? Jesus.
It's the only way that Blake and I know how to interact. Thank you.
Exactly, my friend.
Wow, I'm feeling left out with Blake here at the moment. Oh.
I'm feeling dirty for having witnessed that.
Yeah, and Blake, you've got that fancy black bag there. What's inside of it?
You guys are going to be really, really jelly of what I have over here.
Jelly?
Exactly.
Is it jelly?
Whatever.
Do you mean jealous?
I'm going to continue. In my
Just rape the language, why don't you?
In my
Jesus.
biodegradable takeout sack from Simmering Willie's Food Wagon, I have a turmeric simmered grass-fed beef on koji rice. And then to wash that down with, in my biodegradable mug, I have sparkling cactus water from the highlands of Jalisco, Mexico.
Oh, lovely. I like it.
How do you like that, Ryan?
I have no comment on that other than I would think a biodegradable mug wouldn't be real good at holding liquid for very long.
That's what makes you drink it quicker.
Yeah.
Dick.
Point taken.
Yeah, you don't think he's drinking it quick because it tastes good, do you?
Mm.
All right. Well, let me open up my yellow submarine lunchbox and see what I have. Looks like today I've got a round of hardtack with a tin of brown gravy. And I've got a bottle of Crystal Pepsi.
Are you a hipster cowboy? Hardtack and Crystal Pepsi?
And brown gravy. Don't forget the brown gravy.
Yeah. You gotta have brown gravy on your hardtack. I mean, come on.
What do you got for dessert?
For dessert, hey, I've got a nice little Ziploc bag filled with a selection of jujubes. Kind of like jujubes, man.
They're all right.
Yeah.
Yeah?
No comment.
Well, if you can only say my stuff's all right, what have you got in your bag?
Okay. I've got a used condom.
Well, at least there'll be some calories.
Some protein.
Protein is protein.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, after whatever that does to your stomach,
Pretty sure it won't be pleasant.
yeah. Well,
have a
we'll
latex
let our
allergy.
listeners enjoy that as we welcome them to our chocoholic episode of Junk Mouth.
Finally, something that has some potential.
Yeah, Junk Mouth has great potential. We're the second podcast joining the Mystery Science Theater 3000 Revival League,
Not what I was talking about.
informing the Dino Hotel Entertainment Network of America, or DINA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what
Yay!
were you talking
I
about?
was saying finally we have an episode that has the potential to actually have some stuff that tastes good all the way through.
Oh.
I like chocolate. I can see the possibility of giving like 3s and above for everything. But we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
I
you can mix chocolate with anything, so don't get too carried away.
If I can cite that great chocoholic Alan Greenspan, just like the '90s economy, I am cautiously optimistic.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if hearing us talk about chocolate and used condoms makes you want to spit something up at us,
I'm sure it does.
you can get a hold of us on email by junkmouthpodcast@gmail.com or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/junkmouth. Now, Ryan, would you like to talk about a future show coming up?
We're still working on it. Not sure when it's going to drop or what its final form is going to be. We're doing a show called Geeky Drink, which is basically where we take a fan community like Firefly or Star Wars or something like that and try to come up with an alcoholic beverage.
60 minutes.
60 minutes, yes. There will definitely be a Mike Wallace highball on the menu. Basically, just Greg has a drinking problem, and this is his way of legitimizing it. So watch for that.
All right. Have you started buying rum yet, Greg?
Have I started buying rum?
He takes it intravenously.
I meant stocking it up for the show. Beyond your normal first a day.
Buying and stocking up are two different things. It's sort of a garbage in, garbage out. So I would like to say that there is rum for the podcast, but I don't think it makes it that far.
All right. Before we move into eating some delicious chocolate, we need to sing for our suppers. So load up the reel-to-reel and play that sweet Kevin Murphy jingle.
Roll the tape!
The next time you travel to Denver, make your journey into one that you'll remember. Don't just sit around and wish when you can have an expedition at the Dino Hotel. Stretch, snarl, growl.
Thank you, Kevin Murphy and Riff Tracks. All right, let's move into having some tasty chocolate. And before we dig in, let's lay out our ground rules for Junk Mouth. Number one, all our items are not nationally distributed in the United States. We're looking for things that are unique, local, imported, that kind of stuff. And we don't want just a regional or local brand of a product. We really want unique things. Then third, every week, all of our food fits a theme. That's why we're going with chocolate this week. And four, these guys twisted my arm and made me allow us to have one pass card every week. One food we cannot try if somebody's really opposed to something.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we've all used that pass card in the past weeks, I would point out.
Timeout, needle scratch. I'd like to talk about the rules for a minute here. I think it's great that we all have a pass, but I would like there to be extra credit. I would like to have the future ability. We can't do it this podcast. We haven't prepared. But we're 4 or 5 podcasts in. I'd like to see us, next time we do this, have the ability to catch up and get ahead. So maybe we need to add a couple of rules. You can try a double dog dare. You can eat a disgusting food to get points back. So that you can either tie or win. There needs to be a tiebreaker because I'm sick and tired of just tying with you guys. I want to definitively win this thing.
Why do you have such a need to win in what is basically just a conversation, Greg?
I'm overcompensating, Ryan. Thank you.
For extraordinarily small genitals, I'm assuming?
It's more than just that. It is also a tiny, mean personality. But I would like to see, the chance to restore honor if you've tried the pass key. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you think, Erik?
Wow. I don't know. I have a hard time saying what exactly. How would we handle getting these challenge foods?
Well,
where are they coming from?
I don't know. I mean, maybe all sorts of stuff. I'll bring in a challenge food and
a bonus round almost.
Yeah, a bonus round.
Okay.
So you could, and let's say the bonus round is worth 2 points rather than 1 point. So you could definitively win if you take the extra credit. you either definitively win and you crush your opponents mercilessly and cause lamentations upon their women and lamentations upon their cows. Or if you're behind, you not only tie, but you win by 1 point. I think it'll be more exciting.
It could be something maybe more like chocolate covered road, like it could be something crazier maybe.
Some Bernie bots.
Yeah, some throw up jelly bean. Eat a
The
whole box
bamboozles.
Yeah.
Oh, we could have a standing thing of bamboozles where that's the Russian roulette game where you either get like a delicious flavor like lime or snot or something or puke. So if you eat a Bernie bot or a bamboozled bean, you pull ahead.
We could have a wheel of despair. Like we have a wheel where we put stuff on it. If somebody wants to go ahead, they spin the wheel, and if it lands on something horrible.
No, I like it. I like it. So, all right, we'll sort of take that back and chew on it a little bit and keep discussing it off the air. But I want a bonus round. I want an extra
a
credit.
professional would have discussed this off the air to begin with.
It's true.
No, I have no problem wasting people's time. I mean, that's why we do all this
You're wasting
podcasting.
mine in the editing room.
We'll huddle around a desk with our shirts off in a closed room with no AC, and we'll get hard at it.
Are we still talking
Wow,
about
Blake.
brainstorming? Are we? I'm not sure. I think the subject just changed.
Yeah.
No, we're still on the same subject, I think.
Blake thinks of himself as the subject all the time. All right.
Moving on.
Okay, I guess, we'll move on. So this week, we're trying foods made out of everybody's favorite fermented, roasted, and processed cocoa beans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, Ryan, why don't you tell us here, let's see, I'll grab this bag for you and tell us what we're eating today.
Okay, our first item is from the South Bend Chocolate Company. This could be good. This is chocolate bacon popcorn. And I've had like chocolate bacon stuff before. They're flavors that actually go together pretty well, believe it or not. With the South Bend Company, harvesting the pods is still done by hand. Beans are separated from the pods, fermented in boxes or wrapped in leaves. And this goes with any chocolate. The chocolate beans have to be dried to prevent spoilage before shipping, and then processed to separate the cocoa solids and cocoa butter, which are used to create various types of chocolate. That's with anything, not just these. But this is it's a clear bag with a pig on the label. So something died going into making this, which is always a plus. And it's full of popcorn. It looks like caramel corn, but it is apparently chocolate bacon popcorn.
And like any large commodity, you go far enough down the supply chain, and chocolate can be actually kind of a dirty product. You have to check and make sure that it's not forced slave labor, child labor.
You don't have to check.
You don't.
Yeah.
You should check.
You should check. It's often
some of the
credited.
big companies still, I don't know if it's still going on, but as recently as a few years ago, we're still using forced slave labor along the Ivory Coast.
Isn't everything forced slave labor
And
these days?
you go far enough.
Ask a slave if he finds a difference between what he does and what you do, Blake.
True.
Yeah,
You're right.
And then you've got palm oil that's used as an emollient in a lot of chocolates, and
But not the palm oil you're thinking of.
No, not that palm oil. but palm trees are responsible for massive deforestation of palm plantations in, I believe, throughout the Pacific Rim. And
He said rim.
I did say rim. No,
We're not getting anywhere today.
for once, Greggy is actually being a little serious. And the other thing is that we've hit peak chocolate. Just like there's peak oil, there's peak chocolate. And due to a combination of factors, there may not be enough chocolate to go around in a few years.
That's sad.
And so chocolate supplies are going to dwindle. There will be more adulterated chocolate and substitutes, and actual chocolate is going to spike in price.
Yeah.
Greg, you're painting a really dark picture right now.
All chocolate is dark chocolate because it's got some pretty horrible things going, way down on the commodities end of it. So I mean, I don't think it hurts to point this stuff out, because it is a real concern, and it is both the palm oil and the forced slave labor are things that the chocolate industry damn well should address.
Yeah, they absolutely should. That's a big deal. So just some of the big companies, Nestle, for instance, was still using forced labor very, very recently. And, their excuse was it was just too dangerous for them to go in and stop it. But, their buyers get in and out just fine. So, it's a big deal. So just remember the next time you enjoy a delicious chocolate bar that it most likely has the blood of a child on it.
Okay, after that cheerful conversation,
Let's eat some
let's
chocolate!
console ourselves with some chocolate bacon crunch popcorn.
I'm not giving you the bag,
Give me
asshole.
the goddamn bag. I want some of this
Okay,
delicious.
just take out
delicious.
one. You don't need a whole.
No, I'm shaking it out onto the table, so I'm going to eat that pile there. Thank you. Here, your turn, Eric.
Okay,
Yeah, why take one measly?
I'm going to go
little
with as
popcorn.
much as I can fit in my hand because
Blake,
this looks
I'm just
good.
gonna take one.
Now I am.
Oh,
gonna,
it smells good.
I am going to dial it back a little bit and say there
Thank you.
is good chocolate out there, and that some of these practices are being curtailed.
Yeah,
Look at.
there is socially responsible chocolate that you can buy.
And palm oil is being phased out on many of the products out there. So just read the label, do a little research. That's all it is. Just
chocolate
Yeah.
advocates.
inform yourselves. You don't have to feel guilty about eating chocolate. Just be aware. So, tell us a little bit more about what we're about to try here, Eric.
Well, it looks like
Clusters.
well, first it's popcorn. I mean, we've had good luck with popcorn here. It looks like it is. It does look like it's got a caramel cover on it, even though that isn't in the main description.
Got a smoky smell.
Very
Definitely,
smoky.
yeah. You smell the smoke, like it's a really. It smells like smoked bacon on there.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Definitely tastes.
Oh, am I
smoked
waiting?
chocolate.
Sorry.
Oh, thanks, Greg.
Yeah,
Come
I
on
don't
now.
blame you because it smells so good. I really want to get this in my mouth. So
All right, let's
let's
try
go.
it.
So it's caramel. It's got a decent milk chocolate coat.
Yeah.
And the
Oh, that's
bacon,
good.
the bacon is like bacon bits.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
when they have little bacon crumbles in it, it's like a Baco's or a bacon bit.
Yeah, yum.
But it's got a smoky flavor to it.
I don't care if it's person bits. This is really good.
This Soylent chocolate popcorn is delicious.
Mm.
Oh, good.
5.
Good stuff.
5.
Mm. Absolutely. I mean, you know what? I think we're just hitting on the popcorn on the show. We've
Can't
done
talk
popcorn
reading.
before. Yeah, it's been wonderful.
Blake?
I only like the chocolate part that's on the popcorn.
I'm kind of with Blake. It's good.
I'm not. I'll just say this. I'm not a big caramel popcorn fan.
Oh, I love it.
So I just like the chocolate part of it. And I normally don't like chocolate covered bacon, but I just want to eat all the chocolate cluster parts on
See,
the
this
popcorn.
is the thing. I'm not a big popcorn guy either, but this I really like.
Yeah, it's a nice meld of flavors. I think the popcorn's just a delivery device. It's
Yeah.
It's caramel, chocolate, and bacon.
Yeah.
I see this popcorn as a metaphor for the podcast itself.
Oh, fuck off.
It is 3 things that are completely incompatible, that are forced uncomfortably together in a closed space, and it doesn't quite work. I like bacon, I like chocolate, I like caramel popcorn. Blake, back me up on this. Do you think those 3 things go together?
No.
Yeah, okay, tell me why.
I don't like mix. I've never liked the whole bacon craze with like bacon infused soda, alcohol, chocolate. I like to keep my stuff separate, and I don't like the combination of the smoky. If this bag was just the chocolate and the bacon bit part, like if those were just chips of it in there, I'd just like piles of it in my mouth. But the popcorn part just throws me off. I'm not a big caramel fan either, so that's why I guess I'm a little
I don't know who
biased.
bought this, but
But I
who's
agree
taking
with
it
Greg. I agree with Greg.
I'm glad I bought you some bacon.
The mix of the 3 doesn't really go together for me. Some people it does though.
home. Eric, what's your rating?
Oh no, almost as high as you, Ryan. Not quite. I will say it doesn't meld into that like heavenly pairing like our only 5 we've had unanimous 5 we had so far in that wonderful mocha.
Yeah.
It's not that good.
No, it's not that good.
So I'm going 4.5 because it's a really solid popcorn.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think it would be
Yeah.
stronger without the smoky bacon bits.
Yeah.
Well, I think that makes it.
I disagree.
I'm still eating it.
I'm still eating it.
I will say my favorite Pete ones were the ones with less bacon on it.
Yeah, less is more with the bacon.
Yeah.
And none at all is perfect.
No, just a touch is good.
I'm giving it 3 greasy wrappers here because I'm still eating it. It's a good solid junk food. It does what junk food is supposed to do, which is keep you grabbing more and going back for seconds and thirds and 20ths. But I'm not crazy about the bacon.
See, the bacon, I'll tell you what. You can see at some of the bottom of this bag where some of the bacon has fallen off and collected at the bottom of the bag.
With chocolate.
If I got to the end of this bag, I like this bacon so much, I would tip it over my head and rub it all over my body. This is great.
Please wait till you're home.
I cannot promise anything.
I think I'll give it a 3. I think the chocolate part of it I like better.
Oh my
But
God! Look at this
In
piece.
general, I'll give it a 3. That piece that's a lot of chocolate.
That's stunning. The amount
That
of
is
chocolate
going
that's
inside
coming.
me.
Yeah, we well know
Dear
Ryan
God.
likes putting things inside himself.
And it's not even his mouth.
Okay. I think that
Did,
was
did everybody rate it?
so. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
What-
I did. I gave it
yeah.
a 3.
Okay.
I gave it a 3. We're simpatico on that.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
got a 5 and a 4.5 from people who actually appreciate good food.
Mhm.
So, and now I think it's time to move on to my segment to accentuate the positive. All right. So this is where I get to highlight one of the many joys in life that make it just great to be alive. And this week, that thing I'm talking about is a person, and that person is Marie Curie. Marie Curie discovered radium and polonium, and managed to extract 1 milligram of radium out of 10 tons of uranium ore to prove that these substances first exist. Her study of the radium and the polonium was really our first understanding of radioactivity. And her work then led to her being, this was the first person, not the first woman, the first person ever to be awarded 2 Nobel Prizes in different fields. One for chemistry and one for physics.
It's like Bob Dylan winning the prize for literature, the Nobel.
No, it's really not at all.
No,
like that.
it's way more important and world changing.
Yeah.
To you, Erik. To you.
Well, I want you to consider if Marie Curie hadn't done her work and the subsequent work that then went on from the doctors who learned from her, we wouldn't have radiation therapy for cancer patients.
Okay, that is important.
Yeah.
I'm looking up a picture of her.
Yeah.
She has like a hot science. She's holding some beakers, looking really, really
God.
intensely
Hot
at
science.
at some liquids, and wearing and all. Her dress is covering her whole body, her arms. There's nothing showing, but I could see why you'd like her.
Wow.
Besides the cancer part.
Dude, I'm an engineer. I have a love for science. Where are you going, Blake?
Are you going with sexy Marie Curie? Is that?
Yeah.
That sounds like a modern Halloween costume. What the hell?
I love sexual historical fan.
You know, why don't you go on with
characters.
Marie Curie's story and let's see. Let
Yeah.
Blake know how this.
Here,
how this
we'll
turfed out.
get Blake really worked up because we're going to talk about Marie Curie died at the age of 66
sad.
from aplastic anemia, which is a bone marrow disease, which was likely caused by all the radiation she was exposed to during her research. That really actually helped us understand what the dangers of radiation were, so that other people wouldn't go through the same thing. To me, what that really tells me is this is a woman who gave her life to the science and the betterment of humankind. Absolutely amazing. She ended up becoming the first woman to be honored with internment in the Pantheon, which is, in Europe where they put all their great heroes.
Mhm.
This is in their death, and this is like the equivalent of getting buried in Arlington in the United States, other than it's Europe and science instead of the military. But that's kind of the level of honor we're talking about here. So if a woman who's saved lives through the radiation treatment that came from her work, who gave her life to science and has made our world just that much of a better place, if that doesn't make you a little bit happier, make your life a little brighter, I don't think you're human.
Well, I mean, and
True.
radiation is such an applied technology now. I mean, it has provided great comfort beyond just cancer research. Smoke alarms.
Leukemia.
I mean, if smoke alarms operate off a tiny amount of radiation,
Absolutely.
and
Microwave ovens.
think of all of the
Mike-
lives that have been saved with smoke alarms, or all of the lives that have been saved with X-ray applied
Mhm.
technology. I mean, everything from just a simple trip to the dentist to being able to heal bones in a way that doesn't cause massive trauma or suppuration and gangrene.
What I will point out, both X-rays and microwaves had been understood to exist before this point, but how they were created in the first place wasn't. Our ability to create them rather than just observe them in nature is where her work really went.
Yeah,
with her.
I mean,
yeah,
as later applied technologies.
Yeah.
No,
Wait, I thought microwaves were first observed. I thought they were first observed in the 60s when they were trying to figure out what the interference was on their satellite and realized it was microwave emissions from the Big Bang.
That was the first time we realized microwaves were coming from space
Oh,
rather
okay.
than from things on Earth. Yeah, but anyway, that's so.
Well, I do have a personal anecdote here. I lived for a time in Colorado next to a guy who worked on the Manhattan Project. And actually, his job was not that far off from some of Curie's original experiences, where his job in the laboratory in New Mexico, when we were racing to create the bomb first, was to convert the uranium to the pure uranium-235. And, fascinating man. He would talk about how he would leave his books on the shelves, and his landlady was probably OSS, was probably, a spy. Keeping an eye on him and all the other boarders who worked on the Manhattan projects. He said he'd come home and the books would be rearranged on the shelves.
Not a very good spy then.
Yeah, not a terrific spy, but maybe I think he had a photographic memory, so he could do that. But his name was Norm Numeroff, and he went on to be a pioneer in radio medicine and taking the applied technology that started with Marie Curie and coming up with the methodologies that allowed for radioactive tagging and for radiation therapy. So it's interesting to see how these initial discoveries, how Curie really sacrificed herself to cause a great many things that have made for the betterment of humanity. So
that was a great story, Greg. Absolutely. I mean, the woman was great, and I'd love to meet. Was it Norm? You say?
Yeah, he's passed on. He's gone on to
okay.
his great reward now. But an interesting man nonetheless.
Oh well, thank you. That is wonderful to hear. Hopefully our listeners here can get on board with Marie Curie. Then definitely go research more.
Google imager.
Not
Just kidding.
Read the stories.
Yeah, it's a good stuff.
She was an absolutely amazing scientist. There are some great stories, some great humanitarian stories, especially with some of the women's groups in the United States that help support some of her work. Absolutely wonderful and fascinating. And you know what? I think that talking about Marie Curie put me in such a good mood. I can handle Ryan's reality check, and I don't think I'm even going to get upset.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the point of this, Ryan, is to let you speak your mind. We want you to have a space where you can just tell us what you think.
Okay. All right then. Assisted suicide.
Hey, come on, Ryan. Come
Oh,
on.
God.
Jesus, Ryan.
Fine. Fad diets. Look, asshole, I don't care what David Avocado Wolf told you about reducing your electrolytes or balancing your chi or whatever. There's one way to lose weight healthily, and that's to make sure the calories you burn exceed the calories you take in.
But Ryan, what about the Atkins diet?
If you think healthy eating is nothing but like plates of bacon, you deserve the heart attack that's coming your way. Fad diets are unscientific bullshit. You think there's an easy way to lose weight? You're fooling yourself. These so-called diet gurus are coining money by scamming the desperate and the easily led. They're peddling unscientific bullshit because people want to believe in magic. Well, guess what? There's no such thing as magic. Life is hard, and it ends with your unmaking.
Okay, well, Ryan, I get you're right about the diet thing. I mean, people need to actually understand the science of weight loss and everything. But why are you so focused on death?
Oh, am I making you uncomfortable, Mr. Delicate Porcelain Mouse? Death is where we all end up. The faster you accept that, the happier you'll be. You will eventually lose everything you ever loved and sleep the sleep of oblivion in an unmourned grave under an uncaring leaden sky. All the acai berries in the world won't help you then. Ryan out.
Okay, well,
That's
I got to say, it's good to see you more cheerful than usual.
Yeah, I'm feeling good though. The bacon popcorn's really...
I mean, normally you're a little bit of a downer, but that was actually kind of a kumbaya message from you, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. The bacon popcorn's put me in a good mood. What can I say?
yeah, and I can even get by knowing that I can have some acai berries and die.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's better than dying without them. So why don't we move on to our drink? Greg, can you tell us a little bit about what we've got there?
Yeah, this is a product from Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, and this is made by the Durango Soda Company here in Durango, Colorado. And it is a Cocoa Fizz chocolate soda. And let me pull it out of our trusty ice bucket here and knock some of the water off. I'll pass these out, one for each of us. This is, I think, the third chocolate soda we've tried in the studio. We did two of them on our other podcast on the Revival League. And one was Dino Dung, and the other one was what was it, Zubafizz? Or no, it was
I can't remember.
It was good though.
It was pretty good.
This
chocolate
is going to
soda.
be my first chocolate soda.
Yeah. Blake had to open mine because my delicate hands couldn't handle the screw top.
Oh, after you call Erik a porcelain mouse, you
Whoa! And I opened mine and it decided to blow on me. I got blown by the chocolate soda
It
bottle.
smells like a Tootsie Roll bar.
Yeah.
It does.
It does smell
most
like
of
a
these,
Tootsie Roll.
Most of these smell like
Okay.
Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah,
in
they
my
do.
experience.
So
Yeah, very, very.
Blake, describe the bottle to us.
The label says Choco Fizz in like 50s fun writing. It's caffeine free. Kind of looks like there's some chocolate bubbly throughout the label with like a cream and dark brown coloring, and it's pretty normal bottle. And with what we got here, a black cap that says soda on it. Let's see how it. Smell it here. Put their nose up to it.
You don't have to put your nose
No.
up to it. I mean, normally with a soda,
want
you
it.
gotta put it to your nose to smell. The whole room is perfumed
right
like
when you
Tootsie
twist
Roll.
it off, it just comes off.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this room smells strongly of sort of that waxy Tootsie Roll chocolate smell.
I think this is probably what they add to the Tootsie Roll base to give it the chocolate flavor.
Probably. So hold it up to the light. It's brown and brown. It's probably a brown liquid in a brown bottle.
I don't know. It might be pretty clear. It looks pretty light colored.
Yeah,
I see the
pretty
light through there
normal.
Really well.
Nothing extraordinary looking about the bottle. Looks pretty
No.
normal.
It's getting warm. Let's drink it.
All right, cheers,
right.
guys. Cheers. So, 1, 2, 3.
It's a Tootsie Roll.
Mhm.
It's a liquid Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, it is.
That's what it is.
It's
yeah.
a little rich for my taste, but it's all right.
I got to say, this is the best chocolate soda we've ever had out of the ones we've had in studio.
Probably.
Um,
It's still a little rich for my taste because it is a liquefied Tootsie Roll, but it's
Yeah.
not quite as...
But it tastes like chocolate, and that's the point.
It does.
Actually,
Yeah.
the others were sort of, it's chocolate-ish. This tastes like chocolate. And I even get like a little vanilla note
It's
in
not
it as
bad.
well.
It's
Yeah,
not bad
it's,
at
it's
all.
really tasty.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with Ryan. It's a little too rich for me, but it's good. But I wouldn't
Yeah.
drink it. I wouldn't sit here and drink it like just.
I wouldn't drink these
Yeah.
one after the other.
No, me
No,
neither.
I think it. I'm not even sure if I'll finish a 12-ouncer of it, but,
yeah.
but a little bit of this is good.
A little.
Now-
yeah.
It could be colder.
That's the problem.
yeah,
That's
ice
probably
cold,
biasing me a little bit against it, is that it is not cold enough. It sort of came here warm. If it were really icy cold, it would be delicious. Also, I wouldn't drink this by itself. As amazing as it is, this needs to be afloat.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah,
this
that'd
would
be
be
good.
fantastic.
This is begging out for chocolate or vanilla ice cream in it, or some maybe frozen yogurt or,
That'd be
or
fantastic,
gelato.
yeah.
Then it would just be a soda fountain drink, and but it needs the cream and cold of a chocolate to really round it out and make it complete.
It's a heavier soda. I feel like if you drank all this, you'd be.
Yeah, it is sort of heavy.
Yeah.
But it's superior for a chocolate soda, which usually aren't that great. They're not usually bad, but they're usually not that great. I'd give this maybe a 3.5.
I'm going to be kinder to it because it's warm and because I'm generally biased against chocolate sodas as a category. Like you guys said, I wouldn't seek this out. If I went up to a wall of cold sodas and I was thirsty, I wouldn't go for this.
No,
Yeah, me
too
too.
heavy.
But if someone offered me a Rocky Mountain Choco Fizz float with vanilla ice cream in it, I'd be all over that.
Yeah.
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 Definitely.
So I'm going to be kind and say a 4.5 greasy wrappers on our rating system because it has great potential and it would be a solid dance partner in a float. And yeah, I'm impressed.
I'll go with a 3.5 on this one. I can't get as excited as you are about it. To me, this is definitely something. Somebody puts one in front of you. It's good enough to drink it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my, you drink it and you wouldn't feel like you're drinking it to be polite.
Yeah.
So that's good enough to be a 3.5 for me. But this is my first chocolate soda. I haven't had the other ones you guys have. And I was kind of a little nervous, I'll be honest. I didn't know how chocolate would translate to a soda, but I can drink it.
Yeah, the answer is just sort of.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just sort of translates.
I'd give it a 3 also. It's my first chocolate soda. Yeah, I don't think I need to. I think it'd be good with a float, like Greg said, but I think a sip's good enough for me. And yeah.
All right.
So, Greggy, why don't you tell us a tale?
Yes, this is my segment that I like to call Tales from the Stupid.
You just proved your
Stupid.
point because if you'd wanted, I could have added that echo in post and it wouldn't have sounded.
I was just
That's
waiting for you to
stupid.
answer me calling out your name. So, in today's Tales of the Stupid,
I got my slap in hand ready, Greg.
oh no, after last week, I'm still bruised. I don't look so hot. But I wanted to talk
You
a
didn't
little
look
bit.
so hot before last week.
Well, I look worse now. I wanted to talk a little bit about milk chocolate and the history of it. It's very much came out of Europe in the 19th century. And it was before that, people were drinking chocolate bitter as mostly a drink, but it was entering in the United Kingdom from the continent, mainly from it really took hold in Switzerland and France. So in 1847, this concern called Fry and Son. They started making what they were calling eating chocolate. So it went from drink form to eating form, and they were serving it in sort of a condensed tablet with sugar. Still wasn't milk chocolate. And some of these names are with us to this day. These chocolate companies, in 1849, Cadbury, which was selling what was known as the French eating chocolate. And after eating chocolate came out, the drinking chocolate craze kind of went down. So in 1876, this is where we get Swiss chocolate from. A Swiss guy by the name of Daniel Peter was tired of having two first names for his name, and so he started working with Nestle. And Nestle, Daniel Peter, his creamery was next door to the Nestle factory. So he's like, I got to sell to these guys. So they came up with the first commercial milk chocolate recipe. I'm sure he wasn't the first person to mix milk into the powdered cocoa, but he was the first one to do it in the eating chocolate form. And chocolate has to be pretty dry. You cannot have a ton of liquid in the milk. So that's where we use condensed milk, the sweet stuff that goes into any number of recipes that comes in the can. That's condensed milk. And once Nestle realized they were sitting on a gold mine, other manufacturers in Europe and the Americas were really quick to follow that lead in making this milder chocolate. It wasn't the bitter dark chocolate. It was actually a mild chocolate, and it is the preferred kind of chocolate is milk chocolate. Although
Says who?
dark chocolate. I'm a dark chocolate guy
I love
myself.
dark chocolate.
Yeah, dark chocolate's the
I'm honestly
best.
chocolate agnostic. I like them both. I don't care for carob or white chocolate, but I do like both milk chocolate and dark chocolate.
Same as us.
But Lindt came along a couple years after Nestle, and with their own mass production manufacturing technique, and it kind of took off from there. So I mean, that's those are names that are with us today. Cadbury and Nestle and Lindt. You can still find all three companies just about in any supermarket in North America in the candy aisle. So, but anyway, that's my Tales of the Stupid. Is a little brief history of the genesis of milk chocolate.
Okay. Well, now we know how to make chocolate that nobody wants, or at least people who can appreciate the good dark stuff aren't after. Yeah. So now we get to move on. I say that, but then of course we're going to move on to our Be Merry segment, and we're going to try Arnott's Tim Tam Original.
We're having Tim Tams?
We're having Tim Tams.
Stop talking, give me the fucking cookies. Stop talking, give me the fucking cookies.
Ryan,
Stop
back
talking,
off!
give me the fucking cookies.
Holy shit, back off, Ryan. Jeez.
I'm going to say Tim Tams. We're gonna have to hold Ryan off here.
Get off the table.
The best goddamn cookies in the world.
Get
They're
off
described
the table.
as smooth cream sandwiched between two crunchy biscuits coated in Tim Tam chocolate.
So what's the difference with Tim Tam chocolate? What makes their chocolate? Is it just?
I think it's just the company.
It's just the
Okay,
company,
okay.
yeah.
That's something special to it.
And Tim Tam is the name. It came after a horse that won the Kentucky Derby in 1958.
Really, because
That's
it's
where we
really
get
more a
Tim
UK
Tam.
thing than an American
Sounds
thing.
like a horse.
The love for
Tim Tam?
those. I'd never heard of Tim
Yeah,
Tams
Tim
until I
Tam
went to New
stretch.
Zealand.
Yeah, they're actually made in Australia. So
Yeah.
kind of a bizarre thing to me that we get. But they named it after a Kentucky Derby horse. But
Yeah.
you think, Australians and the British, a lot of them love horse racing. So
No, that's
no big
true.
surprise. So
Well, the
And-
package rests by me, so I shall take the first two cookies because I have a feeling, based on Ryan's assessment, I'm going to want more than one.
I'm going to follow the same. I have a feeling if I don't take at least two, I'm not going to get more than
Have
one.
you guys all had Tim Tams?
I have not.
Never.
Blake?
I've
Never.
never had this one.
And-
They kind of, the chocolate looks a little waxy on the outside.
It does.
First thing that happens is when you touch it, the heat from your
I'll take the
fingers,
rest.
What?
the heat from your fingers makes the chocolate melt, so you actually end up
Yeah,
with a chocolate
I'm gonna-
fingerprint.
You got to eat them pretty quick.
I do want to point out these are the Arnott's Tim Tams. These are the original ones. Just recently, Campbell's had acquired the rights to these, and you can now buy a Pepperidge Farm labeled one available primarily at Target stores in the United States.
I haven't tried that.
I haven't tried those either. I haven't looked for them, but these are the original, and by at least the claims of people on the internet, these are the superior product. So
Okay.
let's
to the American ones.
no these ones we have in front of us, the Australian-made Arnott's,
Or better than the...
Better
than the
than
American.
ones.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Okay.
All right.
So with that, let's
what do they smell like?
let's quit holding Ryan back and dig in.
Nothing really.
They smell like cocoa,
Yeah, they do.
sort of a waxy cocoa. Let me try the bite into this cookie.
Good
Crunchy.
goddamn cookie.
Yeah.
These are definitely good milk, dipping in milk.
Mhm.
You know, apparently what they do, at least my brother's New Zealand wife said, you bite one end off and the other end off and use it as a straw for your coffee.
Oh, that's
Like a
brilliant.
biscotti or something.
Wow.
Yeah, like
So it's 2 wafer cookies, and the cookies are amazing.
Yeah.
They're enrobed in a delicious chocolate.
They make them with caramel too. That's
I'm gonna say-
freaking unreal.
I think the chocolate on the outside is actually that's actually the weak point to me.
Oh, it's good.
It's decent chocolate, but it's nothing amazing. It's the
And then-
cookies and the filling are absolutely wonderful. The
Yeah.
chocolate doesn't live up to the cookie and the filling.
The chocolate's just a delivery system for everything else. It's good chocolate, but it's not high end chocolate. But the cookies are just great cookies, and
They really
they make
are.
a version of
Oh,
this.
yeah.
It's exactly the same, except there's a layer of caramel in the center along with the wafer, and it is like touching the face of God. It is amazing. I'm having another one.
As
Those are
awesome as this
fantastic.
as awesome as this is, I also saw there was a dark chocolate version when I was shopping for these.
I'm going to do
So-
something crazy. I'm going to take a bite of Tim Tam. I'm going to back it up to our last section, to the Choco Fizz.
See what that does.
I'm going to try.
Yeah,
I'm going to do a pair. I'm going to do a pairing here
I'm
with the
going right
Choco
with you.
Fizz and the Tim Tam.
that might be too much. Overdoing it for me. How is it?
That works surprisingly well.
Really?
Yeah, no,
not
it's
bad.
like having chocolate ice cream. It's the float thing we were talking about. Yeah, I mean, you got.
The cocoa-y flavor of the soda kind of
Mhm.
makes it taste like you're eating better chocolate than what's on here to me.
Mm.
That's
really
that's how I
enjoyed
really
that.
get that.
I'm going to do that again. I'm going to take another sip of
No,
Choco Fizz and eat more Tim Tam, and then lick my fingers.
I'm following suit because this works.
That does sort of work.
If this soda were cold, it would be phenomenal.
I'm going to go ahead and just 5 on Tim Tams. Anytime you hand me a Tim Tam, it's a 5. So
I'm going to say if that outside chocolate was as good as the rest of this would be a 5. I got to knock it just a little bit. I'm going to go 4.5. Because wow,
Which is
the rest
still a
of
good
that
score.
rest of that cookies
Yeah.
is great. And honestly, if it tasted as good as it does when you drink it with the soda, it would be a 5.
You know, most of the chocolate we've had here didn't live up to my expectations of what chocolate should be. The Tim Tam does.
Yeah.
Biting into a candy bar, biting into something chocolate coated, you have a certain part of your brain that gets activated. It's the pleasure of it. It's the sensualness of it, the sensuality.
you had to go and make it weird. Right?
Sensuality.
No, come
Well,
on,
chocolate actually does activate the same brain receptors that orgasm does.
It does.
Well, yeah, but
Good chocolate. I'm not backing down on that. Good
It's true.
chocolate is a pleasurable experience. Good chocolate is an experience that is one of the best damn reasons for being alive. You know, if we had to make up a top 10 list of what are the true joyful pleasures in life, chocolate would be on my fucking list. No apologies. And I got to say, if I had to have another list with foods that lived up to what chocolate should be, Tim Tams is on it.
They're really good.
5 greasy wrappers.
Blake?
Perfect score.
I'll jump on the old Tim Tam train and I'll give it a 5 too, because I would definitely eat that whole box.
Yeah.
So
I'm good on it.
Apparently-
I had
Tim's,
two.
Tim's.
Yeah.
hey, with that soda, I'll have another.
I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
I've never had them before.
Apparently, I'm the one that brought this one down from being a perfect 5 all around, but
No.
But
Way,
let me tell
way
you,
to
it
kill
wasn't
Way
far.
to kill it, Eric.
I know.
Well, I can understand that. I can understand, like, I think these would be really good with dark chocolate too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if we had some with dark chocolate, it would probably have broken the scale for me.
They almost have like a thin mint taste.
Yeah.
So have you guys ever put a little schoolboy in your mouth?
What the fuck?
No, yeah.
Greg!
Now, Le Petit Écolier, the little schoolboy cookies, the French ones, are incredible. And those are the ones that have the chocolate wafer.
Fuck you.
Have you ever had them? They're
No,
amazing.
I am not putting a little schoolboy in my mouth, you sick son of a bitch.
That's the name of the cookie. It's
I
Le
don't give a
Petit-
damn that's the name of the cookie.
It's-
I'm not eating the cookie just because that's the name of the cookie.
Well, it's named Le Petit Écolier. It's the little schoolboy. And they have 2 versions. They have the milk chocolate and they have the dark chocolate, and they're both phenomenal. But it's a similar thing to Tim Tams, where you get the crunchy wafer along with the really amazing chocolate. So that might be one worth bringing in.
No.
All right, fine. Just trust me on it. It's an amazing cookie.
Oh, it looks really. Look at this. Sorry.
You pulled it up on your
yeah,
screen.
I've seen those.
Yeah, it does
it's like
look
a
great.
fancy- it's
It
a
looks
fancy
great, but I'm sorry, the name. I'm done. No, I'm not eating something called the Little Schoolboy.
I've seen American or other versions of
Yeah.
that have different things on other than a little
Yeah, not a
schoolboy.
child. There's
Also,
there's a picture of a child stamped into the chocolate too. Just
Also be aware that
just
when
in
you
case
put-
you could get that out of your head.
Also be aware when you put little schoolboy cookie in your Google search images that you might want to just delete your history.
Yeah, that's a company computer he's using too.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Ryan, we'll have a talk with HR later.
So we've tried some good foods. I think this was a decent one.
Yeah, I
Started
think
off-
everything was at least average or higher for everybody.
Yeah, we went with the chocolate bacon popcorn that was
Good.
generally well liked, with a little bit of a downer from Blake, but
Yeah.
And me.
and Greg, yeah. But nobody thought it was bad.
No.
And we went on to the Cocoa Fizz chocolate soda, which decent soda, and
Has potential, I'd say. There's a lot of potential there if you use it right, like with a float.
This is a soda that would stand by the strength of an ampersand. It needs to be Choco Fizz and some other incredible
Ice
thing.
cream or
But
something
I think
like
a
that.
lot of crazy sodas like that always have like a prerequisite with it. Like you need to have this with it, or you need to like. all
Well,
the
it's like a
crazy
couple of weeks
flavors.
ago we ate that British like dessert bread pudding that would have been. It was okay as it was, but if it had been just blazing hot with a scoop of ice cream on it, it would have been stratospherically good.
Or rum or cream
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely where the Choco Fizz was. And then you know what? The chocolate may not be just supreme, but Tim Tams are damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you can find some Arnott's Tim Tams around you, go get some.
Yeah,
That's
the
definitely
originals.
true.
The originals. I first had these in New Zealand, and I am fortunate that I work for an Australian company. So my boss occasionally brings in boxes of Tim Tams. I don't know where he gets them, but he does. So I've been able to keep having them occasionally. They're just my favorite cookie in the world. New Zealand will ruin you for coffee and for cookies because American coffee is like hot dirt water compared to New Zealand coffee. And American cookies just, they don't stack up to Tim Tams, I don't think, for the most part. So, yeah, if you can find these, the Arnott's version, get them.
Hey, it's Ryan, just breaking in here because we've got an extra segment. We've got James Rohling, our regular contributor. He's got a little segment for us on the history of soda. So let's let James take it away.
Imagine yourself sitting in a movie theater. You have been munching away at some popcorn, and you go to grab a drink. Chances are, you grab a soft drink. Soft drinks are a drink that typically contains a sweetener, carbonated water, and some kind of flavoring. The name also varies from region to region. Carbonated beverage, soda, Coke, fizzy juice, cool drink, cold drink, lolly water, pop, seltzer, tonic, and mineral. And being from Texas, it wasn't soda or pop, it was Coke. Like, what kind of Coke do you want? That was a very typical question. The soft drink may also refer to a flat sugary beverage such as lemonade or iced tea. Soft drinks began during the Tudor period with a lemon water called water imperial. Lemonade was an early soft drink which was water, honey, and lemon. The Compagnie des Lemonadiers of Paris sold this beverage in 1676. In the 18th century, carbonated water was born. An Englishman named Joseph Priestley discovered a method of infusing water with CO2. His invention of soda water is the major and defining component of soft drinks. In the 1770s, Thomas Henry, an apothecary from Manchester, was the first to sell artificial mineral water to the public as a medicinal tonic. The Bewley's mephitic julep consisted of 3 grams of fossil alkali to a quart of water. During the 19th century, soft drinks outgrew their medicinal use, and people began consuming them for their low cost and varied flavors. For the Great Exposition of 1851, Schweppes was the official soft drink supplier and sold lemonade, ginger beer, seltzer water, and soda water. There are several huge names in soda. Coke, which is the most popular soda company in the world, began on May 8, 1886. Pepsi-Cola first ran that name in 1898 by Caleb Bradham. Dr. Pepper was created by Charles C. Alderton on December 1, 1885, making it the oldest running soda in the world. A&W began selling root beer in 1919. And not all soda is old. Jones Soda started in 1987 and is a popular choice for many soda drinkers. And of course, the little stalwart that could, RC Cola, started in 1905. The soft drink is a main staple in the junk food market. Obesity rates have skyrocketed, and physicians blame soda as a main contributor. Sodas are great, just enjoy in moderation. I'm James, and this has been Yesterday's Junk.
We have any final thoughts? Why don't we start with you, Blake?
I want to go get some schoolboy cookies.
You won't regret it.
Blake wants to put some little schoolboys in his mouth. What about you, Greg?
I want to go back to my earlier points and say, yes, chocolate is one of the joys of being alive. And yes, we all have some responsibility to check out where our chocolate came from and source it when we can. So with great joy sometimes comes great responsibility. And I'll just leave it at that so I'm not too preachy.
Uncle Ben over there from Spider-Man.
Yeah, now hopefully we've all learned our lesson from Greg. So, Ryan, anything from you?
We all ultimately die alone.
But we will bury you with
Unless
Tim
you die,
Tams.
I was gonna say, unless you die with other people around you,
No,
then you don't die alone.
Philosophically, we all ultimately die alone because ultimately we can only know our own thoughts.
So given
So ultimately, we are alone, no matter how many people we are physically with when we die.
Okay, but when we're planning your funeral, Ryan, next week, what would you rather have? Tim Tams in your coffin, or when you're incinerated, or Tim Tams for all your friends and loved ones, so that we can think on you while having a pleasurable experience?
I'm not being buried or incinerated. I'm being flung out to sea by giant trebuchet while I'm dressed as Superman. So I would rather the Tim Tams be distributed to the onlookers. With a bonus box for whoever volunteers to pull the lever that launches the trebuchet.
Oh, I will do that for.
And we'll put a
Yeah,
box of
settled
little
then.
schoolboy cookies in his hands, in his lifeless corpse.
Oh, fuck you.
All right, so what I've learned as my final thought is when I look to the past, Marie Curie gives me some great joy. When I look to the present, it's Tim Tams. And when I look to the future, it's Ryan's funeral. So everybody remember, until next time, eat, drink, and be merry.